Hey, everybody. Welcome to Making Connections. This is your girl, Aly. I hope everybody's having an amazing day. Um, Hopefully, a good start to the weekend. I see the sun shining over in my area. I don't know what the weather's like in your area, but regardless, I hope everybody has an amazing day. So, we know this is the fourth Saturday, but before I get into that, definitely wanted to say take note of the flyers that we're running at the beginning of the show. Is different events and different organizations having things around the cities. Some in Charlotte, some Rock Hill. There's a feeding summer program. There's just all kinds of stuff that's going on. People helping children and youth this summer, keeping them busy and off the streets. So a lot of things to support. So hope you take note of that. And we know that tomorrow is World Vitiligo Day. So it's just bringing awareness to individuals with vitiligo, which is an autoimmune deficiency. Um, and it's kind of it takes away your pigmentation of your skin. So, we want to show support for those people, show love to them, because, we all have some stuff going on if we want to get down into the get down of all our business. So, we want to make sure we're showing love and support for everybody who might be dealing with any kind of health issue or sickness or whatever. So, shout out to those vitiligo or vitiligo today, tomorrow. The color for that is purple. So, if you want to wear purple, in honor of someone with vitiligo, do that tomorrow. Post your pictures and tag us on Making Connections. All right, so now that most of the commercials are out of the way, let's get down to the show for today. And we know that it is fourth Saturday, and we know every fourth Saturday is Two Trey Trejo Food Review. How you doing, Edgar?
I am doing well. How about you, Miss Allie?
I'm doing well, doing well. Just chilling.
Well, this month in June, rather than doing a standard restaurant to restaurant review, I kind of wanted to bring some
Awareness.
light into some of our heart to heart giving humanity needed places. So today in June, I decided to do more of a resource and talk about ways for anybody and everybody to give food or get food depending on your situation. Because at the end of the day, food is nutrition. Um, I do give a lot of reviews and props on restaurants, high level, low level, the arts behind the food. But at the end of the day, food is life. Food is nutrition. Without food, we don't have no life. And for a lot of us, even in America, it's hard to get resources when you do not know there are resources out there. So, in June, I'll be talking about food banks and soup kitchens and resources where you can go and either help out, volunteer, donate, or vice versa. Need help, need food, need groceries for the month, for the day, for the year. Especially summertime, school's out for youngins, your normal K to 12 who depend on school to even just eat a day. But now with summer, they have no food. So all these resources, you can also take your kids, no age limit, to your great grandparents because they can't work. So in June, I would like to dedicate it more to the feeding America type of way. So, Miss Allie, have any questions before we get started?
No, I'm just, excited to do the show because, you're so right. Some children when they're in school, that's the only meal they get is that. And so, helping people with resources, knowing how they can get food, knowing the different places that are doing, especially even organic food. There's people doing gardens, community gardens and things like that. Just, do some research and, because maybe sometimes even the places we name, maybe they're giving away on a Monday at 3 o'clock and you happen to be at work. So, you can still reach out to them, I'm pretty sure. and their community gardens. So just do the research. If you can't get there on the day, ask somebody, a trusted friend who is available. Listen, can you go get this box? I mean, just don't struggle when you don't have to. Don't be ashamed because, like Edgar and I were talking about earlier, I mean, even having a job sometimes, it's you just have months where things are hard. So we don't want you to be embarrassed. We don't want you to be starving. We don't want you, because even as adults and parents, we'll make sure our children eat, but then we go hungry. So we just want to help the entire family and community.
Right. Right. Yep. So if we go ahead and get our slides going, I'll start naming some resources. My favorite logo, which I'll probably change. Next slide.
So while he's getting that slide together, again, this is the summer months. We want you to enjoy family time and not struggle. So pay
Right.
attention to these resources. Go back and, watch this video. If you missed something, share it to your community and on your timeline, because maybe you're doing good, but maybe somebody else needs help.
Correct. And if by the end of the video, if you can only memorize one website, memorize this website. Is www.homelessshelterdirectory.org. So this is the stepping stone of your research. It don't matter from what state you're in, as long as you are within the United States of America, there is some type of help somewhere. Maybe not like next door to you or in walking distance, but there is something in your state. So this is a good website. This is a good shelter. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be homeless to use this website. This website will give you all the ins and outs, not just of food, but help in general. Help in resources, even to pay your bills. Help in resources to take care of your kids. Help in resources to see shelters. Help in resources if you are in some type of um, addiction. Help and resources that you need once a month, once a day, once a week, once a year. At the same time, these are also good resources for those of you who want to volunteer, want to donate, want to see what's out there to put in the community. And at the same time, because this website is so broad, you can also see, like for example, if you belong to a certain state that doesn't have a lot to give, maybe you are in a able position to give, so you can start something. So this is a very good stepping stone for you. Go. I will put this link throughout my entire social media. But again, it's www.homelesssheltersdirectory.org. Okay. Miss Ali, any questions? Next slide, please. So we'll go ahead and start with our some of our local soup kitchens. Hickory Soup Kitchen. They have been in the Hickory, North Carolina area, but they also have volunteers that will go all the way to Greensboro, Asheville, Charlotte, Taylorsville, Lenore, Boone, to deliver food directly from the Hickory Soup Kitchen. The Hickory Soup Kitchen not only offers food, but they also offer once a week or once a month, depending on how the donations are, clothes, especially during winter. Um, so great little, well, not little. They've been doing it for 40 years. So it kind of grew a little bit. They have their own little block in downtown Hickory. If you want to reach out to them, you can call them at 828-327-4828, or you can also look at their website at hickorysoupkitchen.org. Um, Go ahead and do the next slide, please. They also offer events and fundraisers at the facility. For example, for $10, you can go ahead and get yourself a plate of pasta. And all money and donations go throughout their day-to-day luncheon. So these soup kitchens every day, either they do it at their facility in downtown Hickory or they choose a facility where to take them. But every day at lunch ish, almost brunch, they give out a plate. They don't ask you any questions. You just go up online, pick up your food to go or to eat there, and you move on. A lot of people go there like we said, you finish paying your bills and you see that you can't eat that day or you can't. You may have a car, you may have a good job, but we all have days, months, years where we have to struggle, when we have to pay those medical bills, when we have to pay. You know, they don't judge, they don't discriminate. They'll help you in any way, shape, or form. So if you just want to go and eat without it being hassled, you can go and eat without getting hassled. If you want to go eat and have a reliable source of something else help you need, like for the homeless, you need just a shower. They'll help you go find you to get yourself just cleaned up. They'll help you find you a bed for the night. So the soup kitchen does multiple things, and they also do events to raise money. Is a lot of the For those of you who know the Hickory area, there's a couple of food distribution companies, and a couple of furniture companies that donate their extra to them. So rather than throw it away, they'll donate it to the soup kitchen. You also have restaurants that donate whatever they have to throw away to the soup kitchen, so the homeless can eat. Um, they have been 40 years in the making. They're recently getting a little remodel on their um, driveway so they can accommodate more cars, more people. It's very clean. Again, you want to donate $1, you can donate $1. You want to donate $1,000, you can donate $1,000. You want to donate however much items or clothing or product, they're not going to reject it. They'd rather have it reused, recycle, than have someone use it that actually needs it.
All right. So, I think all these resources, and like you said, even if you go to the initial resource, every community has something like this. It may not be on the same scale, but every, you know, city, like you said, it might be the city next to you. And, it might be a little struggle to get there, but even if you reach out and you're like, I'm having issues, you never know what kind of options they may have. So, don't just say, well, it's not in my city. I can't get there. I can't access this resource. Call and find out what other options they have because if they've been doing it for years, they understand the situation, and I'm sure they probably know other resources that you may not know of. So reach out regardless, even if you think it's not accessible to you, maybe you can't get there. Please, please, please call regardless.
And then if you go to the next slide, what this soup kitchen also does once a month or twice a month, they will do birthdays. So obviously we're all human. We all like to have celebrate our birthday. We all like to celebrate something, bring the morale, the joy back up. So this little soup kitchen every now and then will do cakes to celebrate a general plethora of birthdays. You can always celebrate every day for someone's birthday, but they try to do give a little bit of happiness back into the joy to keep the people alive because your food may be energy, but you yourself need to have the energy to live so you can become better in society. The food portions are fairly well. Again, food is fuel, so you can never know what you can eat, but I'm sure it's always delicious. For those of you who donate and always wonder if your money goes directly to what it needs, you can always follow their Facebook page, Hickory Soup, at Facebook. They're really open. It's an open source, open organization. They do not make a profit. Everyone is a volunteer. To their accountings, all the way to their helping, scoop up food. So, and everything in every organization, and then all the companies around the Hickory area that donate don't ask for anything back. So, you'll literally see, especially closer to holidays when people are more and more in need, you'll see different companies just donate so much to it. So, don't be afraid of asking for help. don't also at the same time think that just because you have a good job, you need to go hungry that day, that week, or that year because someone else in need, maybe in need, which is true. I'm not gonna say it's not, but this organization has been around for so long and they have a plethora of resources. So even if you just need that dish for a day, go get yourself that dish for a day, and then come
Amen.
back and turn around and then be the helper behind the counter, or come back and a little bit of your bonus, put it back in the pot. So
Right.
don't be afraid of any shape, form, where you stand. That's what we're here. We're all human. We always need one another. And if you don't really think about it that way, think about the countries. You know, we're taking it, something from that country. We're taking something from that country. This country's taking something from us. So even at a big corporation level, country level, we're always helping each other out one way or another, avoiding the politics and the headaches of left and right. But we're always helping each other out as humans. So
Amen. Good advice, Edgar. Because, I'm going to keep saying throughout the show, you never know what happens to you in life. One day you might be up, next day you're down, but we just don't want you to go hungry and struggling with your family while you're going through that season. But we know that seasons change. And like you said, you might have a job, you might be paying your bills, but you just don't have money left over for food. And, that's one of the biggest things with housing and stuff like that. People are not homeless necessarily because they're lazy, because they don't want a home. It's just that the price of the home, electricity, water, cable, because you need that if you have children, they need internet to get to school stuff. So, listen, like he said, we're all here to help one another along the way.
true that, true that. Miss Allie, I don't know if you have some stories or anything. I'll be honest with everybody here. I think we're going kind of fast because we're almost already halfway through what I have to present. So if I
Well,
do,
let me just, while we're talking about it, let me ask you a question. I know you do food show reviews and everything, but why did you feel it important to do this show?
because when I do the show, I research the company, the food from where they get it, and as you guys know, I'll be talking about, oh, they went to the farm, or they went and got it from here, or they do this, they do that. Because I know about the cooking, I know about the waste.
Mm,
So down the line, probably I'll pick a month. I'll talk about the waste and then how we can recycle. But I also see that not every restaurant gives back, which is, I'm not saying give back no matter who you are. No, I'm not saying anything like that. I'm just notating that I do see in America, being who we are, um, there's plenty of food for everybody, but not everybody goes and sees it for X reason. And being summer, now I know I'm chubby, but I wasn't always chubby. During when I first started here in America, because I am from Mexico, by the way, I summer times I always saw my mom and my dad. I was fortunate enough that one or the other worked in a restaurant, and if it wasn't for that restaurant, we may not have eaten because we didn't have the money at the time because my parents were still learning the culture, the needs of the government, the structure of a business, the bills of every day. Because we are honestly we are sheltered in America because you go to another country, those who travel, and you see the expense you have to do when you are traveling to that country. It's a
mhm.
normal day to them, but it's not in the same structure it is in America. So learning that, meaning you learning the money value, how far something gets, you may have to have 3 or 4 jobs in order to survive. The rate of rent of almost equaling or passing a house bill. And when I call a house bill, it's a mortgage. A mortgage was 700, 800, 1,000, and rent starts at 1,000. goes up to 3,000, 4,000.
Right.
So just seeing all of that lately made me think of, well, where are these people actually going to eat? Where are these people going to get fuel for their kids, for their families? Some of them, for X reason, don't want pride or for whatever reason don't want to go and get help. But as I was growing up in summertime, if it wasn't for camps, if it wasn't for my parents working at restaurants, we would have gone hungry. And I have seen my own parents eat or not eat or eat less just to feed us. And then, I took it for granted, to be honest. I'm not saying I didn't, I did. And now that I am in a position I am, I'm trying to give back, but not because I feel bad or anything. I'm just don't want other families and other parents and other kids, especially here in America, not to get food.
Right. And even talking about food, how is, I mean, I know we think we can go without it for a little while, we can just, make sandwiches or whatever, but how important is it to really, and you use the word that fuel the body, what does food do for us?
As you grow up and you start, and even TikTok and Instagram and Facebook and whatever platform you decide to follow, you always hear these: don't eat these foods, don't eat those processes, don't eat these oils. It will cause X this, it will cause X that. It will, the one true thing that I've noticed is you are what you eat, and you body will give you what you need beyond that. So, view wise to me, like for example, you are waking up and all of a sudden you're still tired. You're like, why am I tired? What did you eat? What didn't you eat? Or like at lunchtime, you finally eat, but your body wants to like reject it because it's not used to those type of nutritions. Or you finally eat and all of a sudden you feel sleepy. Like, okay, so your body is doing the opposite. Everybody has a different body, everybody has a different metabolism, everybody has a different absorption of vitamins, etc. But as you get older, why are my bones cracking when I'm only 29 or 30? Why I'm 35 and half of us are like losing our hair, looking like we're 50, while the other half, looks like how they are, or, they're not with us anymore. But again, it all goes down to the fuel, the process of what we eat. And until you get something in your body for you to think clearly, you're not going to be able to process anything else. So, like for example, for the homeless, they may not eat for days and days out, but once they finally eat, their mind starts processing and they're like, okay, now I got to survive here, survive there. Their survivor instincts kick in. But uh, doctors say that if you can't live without eating 3 days, 4 days, I done it longer when I was younger, but I see the impact it takes because your mind, your body starts eating itself. So, in order for us to live, our cells to grow, our bones to heal, you need fuel, you need food. And depending from where you are, this is beyond history. For example, people in Africa have beautiful skin, they don't get sunburn, they don't, because of the herbs and what they have around them. Or the people in Asia, or people up in the mountains, they learn to survive, or Alaska, they learn to survive to eat flubber, to keep themselves warm. They learn what to eat, what not to eat to survive in the environment they are currently on. But honestly, in American, as Americans, our environment is inside. Our environment, our buildings, our environment is a concrete jungle. Whether we live in a rural farm area or a desert area, our environment is still concrete because we as humans have already established so many cities.
Right.
So if you don't give them the minimum fuel, even a bread, bread, water, they're not going to be able to think clearly and make decisions.
Right, right. I mean, it really, fuels the body. It helps you, like you said, think. That's why with children, it's so important that they eat before they go to school because their body is missing the nutrients and the vitamins and minerals that they need, to pay attention for those 6 hours they're in school, trying to learn. They always say it's important, for them to eat before they take a test because, also as your body, is missing out on nutrients and things like that, you get weaker and it's hard to stay awake and stay attentive and, think about the children, but I'm also thinking about elderly people. It's so important that if we have elderly people in our family, and friends, community, that we make sure they're okay because they might be going without food and although research says we might be able to go 3 or 4 days, it's not good for somebody who's elderly, taking medicines and all that stuff to go without food because, again, they need that food to combat that medicine, and absorb that medicine into their system. And it's just so many reasons. So this show is really important because I just listen. We have struggled long enough. We have done without long enough, but there are resources out there. No, you may not get steak and potatoes every time, but I'm just looking at that plate there. There's meat, there's vegetables, there's some fruit on there. You know what I'm saying? There at
Hmm.
these places that you go, they try to give you a variety so that you get what you need, right?
Right.
So, so would you like for me to take a break here, or do you want to continue with your slides?
Let's go ahead and do a commercial,
Okay.
and
So
then we'll hit the other two resources.
Okay, so I believe right here we'll be hearing Chops Turner. He's been on the show before. He is also part of the. I talk about this concert all the time. This is one of my favorite shows. But he was on the concert, and so but the Googaladas, which Marlene is a part of. He did our theme music. So he also has a studio called Polyphonic Studios where he produces other people. So in this is Chops Turner song "When We Get Together," but it was produced by the group Aladas. And so, yeah, let's listen to that song, and we'll be right back with more To Trey Trejo food review.
Cause when we get together in any kind of weather, we are family. Golden memories of summer days gone by. It's late at night and no one's going home. Just stars and fireflies. When we get together, it's always a good time. When we get together, making memories, always on our minds. When we get
Hey, hey, everybody. Welcome back to Making Connections with Aly. All right, there. That was Chops Turner and his song Get Together that was produced by the Groovaladas. Listen, the Groovaladas have a studio called Polyphonic Studios. Check them out. Follow Chops Turner, Groovaladas, Polyphonic Studios, Morgan James Peters. Listen, um, because at Polyphonic Studios, I like their tagline. Oh, what is it though? Hold on. Oh gosh, you're gonna love the way you sound. That's what you want to do. If you're an artist, you want to make sure your music is tight. You want to make sure the background is good because you might have the lyrics, but like everything else, you got to bring the whole package. But we have been talking about food resources. We haven't been reviewing restaurants or anything, but it's still a review of situations and circumstances in our life. And another reason, we encourage you to go out because a lot of times, it's good to know that you're not the only one struggling. You think, oh my gosh, I'm working, I should be doing better. We tend to critique ourselves heavily, but you might see somebody else out there and they might just tell you their story and you'll be like, okay, I'm not going through this by myself. I'm not the only one. I felt, ashamed. I felt, convicted, whatever. But once you get out there, you hear the stories, you get to know people. Something about being together, even that song, When We Get Together, it's talking about getting together with friends and family. And again, it was around food, but we're gonna have food, we're gonna put hot dogs and hamburgers on the grill, whatever. It's something about coming together and knowing that you're not the only one struggling. Hearing somebody else's story, getting strength from somebody else. And another thing, I had another note. Let me see. Oh, and the holidays, I was thinking too. It's okay if your holiday doesn't have turkey and ham. What if it's just ham sandwiches and potato chips? What if it's
Tacos.
pizza? What if it's tacos? Don't compare yourself. Well, it's not a holiday meal. We're doing terrible. Just enjoy the time with your family and friends. I love a good taco. I'd be happy to get taco or pizza or some wings or something. It don't have to be all that turkey and all that stuffing and everything. Listen, I make I get excited about tacos.
Hand, she's telling me, hand, we gotta go get tacos.
But I'm just saying, don't feel bad because your family doesn't have the traditional holiday meal. Just be family.
Together,
Yes, spend that
eat
time
together.
and enjoy. Let the kids put the lettuce in the tacos and the next one put cheese on it. And it might be all over the place, but that's okay. That's memories. You're making memories. So Edgar, I just want to throw that out there so we can continue with your resources.
Which is really good because at least the Asheville section in Asheville, North Carolina. If we go ahead and go to the next slide, so
Tacos, I'm just saying. Salads, I'm just saying.
don't worry, Elliot. In 1 month, I do strictly Hispanic
Oh,
food. No, I do international foods. How's that?
there you go.
The next one is Mana Food Bank. So they are located in Nashville. You can go to their website and find food, donate, or volunteer, or all three.
Mhm.
They have a great staff. They have a warehouse facility. It is a food bank. They do have a helpline. They do deliver 16 counties, I think, in counting. So basically, what city, like for example, we already talked about Hickory, and then we're going to talk about another one. But so, if for those of you who are no maps, Asheville for us is more towards like the center of the states. So they'll go more like towards Tennessee, go up and down, because Hickory kind of takes care of from Hickory to Asheville, from Hickory to Boone, from Hickory to Greensboro, from Hickory to Charlotte, and then those cities take more, so forth. So it's like a little web, a little networking. Um, so, like I said, our state is in North Carolina. We're lucky enough to have food distributors, processing plants, farms, um, and the actual food banks are fairly close to us. So no matter where you live in North Carolina, you're lucky enough to have that. Other states, same. Some states, not so same, but they do have help even in that state. So don't be afraid of reaching out, and don't even be afraid of reaching out to us. Ali and I have been known to help people way beyond the state borderlines. Um, so I've helped out people in Mexico, Colombia, and South America. So
Yeah.
don't be afraid of reaching out. So you can always call them at 828. See, they even have an 828 number, 828 299 3663. They also do old school. So for some of you elderly that don't have a fax and are used to the fax and used to the specially checklist, like I did this, you can fax them. You can, even doctors can go ahead and fax them at 828 299 3664. If you can go to the next slide, we'll still talk about more about Mana Food Bank. They've been doing the organization for 40 years. Um, so let me go ahead and just kind of read off of here a little bit. So they're located in Nashville. It's a private, non-for-profit service. They are involved and a member of Feeding America. I'm sorry, everybody knows Feeding America. They have 200 partners, parties, and other human services and organizations to get food to thousands of families' tables. Now, I personally, because where I work at, well, the job is on another facility we help out, and it's another facility we donate. So, our where I work at, we have two type of business models. This business model basically they act like a grocery store. So they'll pack the bottles, they'll pack the packages, they'll do the warehouse and all that stuff, and they will literally go out to deliver. So you have delivery services. They also go out to parks and stuff for the kids to go and pick up their foods like their normal lunch hour. So they also feed kids. They also have events just for elderly, just for kids, mixed family, holidays, etc. Um, they will help you in every way, shape, or form you need. They don't ask anything in return. They don't check your credentials. They don't check if you are, can or cannot eat first. They'll just give you food. They'll give you a good time. Sometimes they have events. Sometimes they even when they go out to the parks, especially when it's kids' day, they'll do even extra by having people, paint their faces, you know, bouncy castles. At the time of the donation, the person running it that determines what the kid will have. But Mana Food Bank does more than food. So reach out in the Asheville area. Asheville has other resources, not just this one. They have soup kitchens and they have privately owned. I can't say that nonprofit because they're privately owned, so I can't reach anything like that. So that's why they do a review for them. But they are connected with Men of Food Bank. So reach out. Reach out, reach out, reach out. Um, Kid events, and if you go to the next slide, they also have a Facebook. So all the organizations that I've been talking about are nonprofit, and you can go and follow to see where your money is lying. So if you're the type of person that donates but kind of wants to see where your money is going, you can follow the money with these guys. I personally, I'm in the person that believes if I'm helping, I'm helping. I'm not going to track my money down to make sure it does what it needs to do. Um, that's my faith, I guess. So they do have a Facebook, um, and then you can follow them and see, where it is. They, like I said, they'll go to events, they'll deliver directly to you. They will even pick up your medication.
Hmm,
So,
that's cool. I like the previous picture where they had like the kids in there helping them. Just because I think it's important too that we teach our children. I mean, listen, if you had kids, sometimes they can be wasteful. And so I think it's helpful for kids to see other children who may not have as much, whether it be, and that's why I like Two Toys for Tots, because the kids have the opportunity to participate and, give to another child in need. I just think it's important for our children to understand. I mean, don't think just because you see your parents with 3 or 4 credit cards that means you can just go get what you want, drink half of it, and throw it away, or take a bite off an apple and then just leave it. I mean, that's money,
yeah.
and you don't know what's on them 3 credit cards. It might be $50, not five. You know what I'm saying? So we have to really, be intentional in teaching our children the value of money, of time, of food, of, of appreciating other people. So it's so much to teach. And, even as adults, some of us still need those lessons. So, I just think it's important to see. And like if you are somebody with abundance, you tend to buy in abundance, but it's getting close to those dates or whatever, and you want to give to the food bank or whatever, make sure you're giving good things, maybe make sure you're giving a good resource. And so, but let's just buy extra bag of food and drop it off sometime.
Yes, a lot of grocery stores can say in other places, but all the grocery chains in North, South America, excuse me, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, and I want to say Virginia, but I haven't done the entire market in Virginia. All the chain grocery stores have buckets, programs, donations, coupons, where if you're buying your regular grocery and you just want to give a case, double the groceries you bought, coupon box you bought, pre-made boxes, all of these chains have something. $10, $5, $2, and
Right.
adds up. It really adds up. And at the end of the day, you don't know if the kid, and the reason I bring kid is because to me, protecting the king is not protecting the president. It's not protecting the leaders. It's not protecting an actual king, the royal family, whatnot. To me, protecting the king is protecting the kids, because the kids, we already lived our lives. We're making the decisions. We are paying our own consequences, but the kids are not. The kids at a certain level don't know or are not paying for the consequences they are doing. And a consequence to me doesn't mean the word consequence means bad to me. It just means give and take. Like Newton's law, equal
Hmm.
reaction to the equal proportion of the reaction. So the kid may be a future doctor that will finally cure something. The kid may be the final political leader that we can actually all get behind and actually unite the world. The kid can be an inventor and finally invent that special little gadget that you've been craving for, that makes something easier for you to fix or something easier for you to continue living. because honestly, engineering is so we can be lazy. Engineering is so we can have a button to do the work for us. So you don't know. At the same time, you don't know that that kid was meant to be there to help out another kid, or that kid was there to pick up trash. So when the time you go to the park, or the time you go to, the wilderness, you can enjoy the wilderness without being harmed. Or you don't know if the kid is just there to give blood, that help your relative because of the rare blood disorder or rare blood. Because I know for my family we have O negatives and O positives, so we're constantly getting asked for blood types. So
True. Mhm.
you don't know. And to me, protecting the kid, protecting the king, is protecting the future, because that's, to me, is protecting the king.
Right. And I definitely agree with all those things you said about that because, as children, we have the opportunity to become anything that we want to, and our mind is so, fresh and untainted or, unclouded and unbiased and stuff like that. So, definitely. But I'm also very passionate about making sure we take care of the elderly, make sure they have food because they have been productive parts of our society. They have gone the path and they have, built the bridges that we go across and things like that. So, still, as an elderly person, I think they should be able to live comfortably, have food, and be taken care of. So, to me, it's really the whole gamut. So, and they can't now, where they were the ones driving the buses and, taking kids and doing transport at church and stuff like that. Now they can't drive. So they need somebody to take care of them. So I don't want us to forget about the elderly in this process either.
See, balance. I always say there's a balance.
Yeah, yeah. We gotta
There's not
take
one
care.
way or another.
We gotta take care of the whole of society.
And honestly, food banks and soup kitchens and true, and I say true organizations, I believe that's their main goal,
Right,
to
right,
help the help.
right. Yeah. Um, do you want to take another short break, or because I just have one more commercial? But if we're good,
Yeah, one more commercial. Go ahead.
okay. So we have one more commercial, and since we're talking about food, this is cookies, sweets, treats. I always say the name wrong. I don't know why I get on here and be forgetting people's names and I change it around, but y'all be knowing. But it's gonna show in the video. So this is a business partner of mine. She does like chocolate covered strawberries and different things like that. So as you're celebrating events and things this summer, if you're looking for or something different for a birthday or anniversary, consider getting in touch with Cookies Sweets. Alan, if you roll that for me.
Telling me to dance, taking a chance. Telling me to dance, taking a chance. Telling me to dance, taking a chance.
All right, so that was a
Well,
real
that was
brief.
short.
Yeah. We usually combine it with other, but it's cookies treats for the sweet. Haha.
Yeah, that makes good.
Treats for the sweet. She is on Facebook. You saw as we did the commercial, her name and phone number, Sharon Wilson Lenny. Listen, she's creative. We have our one of our business colors is like a royal blue, and she had made these apple candy apples and in that royal blue color. So she's very creative. Reach out to her. Cookies treats for the sweet. And again, she is on Facebook. You can follow her, contact her. If you didn't get the contact information, just put a note on the thread and I'll make sure you get it. All right. So we're been talking about food resources, different food banks. And like Edgar says, food banks is not always, they don't just always give away food. They are a resource for the community, for clothing, for medical, even if they don't provide it, they still know resources. So again, we've been talking about taking care of the entire family. We want the children to make sure they're nourished so that they can continue to learn and grow and be whatever they want to be in life. We want to make sure that the adults that are working, trying to provide for the kids, trying to take care of your parents, but now your money is stretched because you're doing all those things, that you get the nutrients and the support that you need to keep going. Because you get in that age in life and you're taking your that balance, you're trying to balance everybody, and sometimes you let yourself go. We don't want you to go without because you're helping others. Then the elderly who have contributed to society, who have done those roles, who have been there for everybody else, let's not forget to be there for them. Yeah, be there for them. Back to you, Edgar.
Thank you. If you go to the next slide, this one is in Charlotte. Now, Charlotte has multiple ones. I think as much as Asheville has. But I decided to pick University Soup Kitchen, which they are part of Just Service. So the last one was part of Feeding America. This one's a part of Just Service. Like I said, there's tons of organizations out there. I think if we actually all pitch it together, we can actually help the world with all these organizations, which is good. Um, this organization is University Soup Kitchen, making a difference a day at a time. That's their motto. They are run by actual students for the University of Charlotte, University of North Carolina in Charlotte. It's a soup kitchen in Charlotte, first green food party. They were founded in America so they don't waste food. They recycle food from restaurants. And now that I'm saying this, I did remember back when I was living in Charlotte, I was always wondering why all these kids going around to each restaurant and just picking up the leftovers. I thought it was nasty because that's my way of thinking. Back in the day, I was very narrow minded. Not ashamed to admit it, but now I know.
And
Now I know.
that's
They huh?
part of it. We're bringing awareness, and a lot of times, again, like we said, with the homeless, with people who are going home, we think they're just not doing what it takes to, they need to go work and they need to work more hours. They need to, but you never know the situation a person is in, and so. Like you're saying, you're kind of narrow minded, but for somebody who doesn't have any other options, that leftover, hey,
Yeah.
because it doesn't mean leftover from somebody's table.
No,
It
no,
just
no. It was just left over from the restaurant. Yeah.
right,
We do have to keep the germs in check.
that part.
We have learned, right? So this organization helps Mobile Help Center, Age Gap Love, which is what Ali was just stating for. Let's not forget about our elderly, and the USK Kids Club. So that's what I was saying earlier, taking care of the kids. So this organization does help everybody. This organization, um, without sounding too hard, will tell you, do you need our help? Do you really need our help? Because it's not necessarily they're going to refuse you, is because the people running this are university kids. They want you to have structure. So they ask you hard questions. They will ask you, do you have a game plan? What is your game plan? They have the professors and stuff push the kids to have heart to heart conversations. A lot of you know it as Jesus talk. Like, you know, obviously they'll help you, not gonna ask any questions, but if they see that you need that tough love, they'll give you that tough love. Because let's be honest with us ourselves, we need a kick in the butt every now and then. We need push. We need tough love. We need our skeletons to no longer be in the closet. The whole mentality of we don't air our dirty laundry in public makes you in a way closing your own bubble again without seeing that maybe there is another way because there's someone else thinking it at a third part of you. A lot of the way, even my other job, part of it is here's a problem, solve it. The reasons even organizations, companies, the country has these agencies that don't belong to them is because sometimes it takes an outside party to look into you to see what you're doing wrong, or not necessarily wrong, but to see what you're doing, maybe so they can advise you to do something different.
Right.
Um, you know, Einstein said, the definition of mentality is, doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting different outcomes. So sometimes it takes that outside view to see, like, okay, stop hitting it on the left, now hit it on the right, and see what happens. But the tough love mentality they also push helps the university students also see not only to them to help, but for them to see like maybe I need some tough love. Maybe I'm not necessarily preaching or practicing what I'm preaching because
Right.
love works both ways. You cannot give tough love without receiving tough love back at you because it is a mere way system. And as Ali and our little circle know, we give tough love to each other, but we're also getting the tough love back.
No comment on this show. That's a whole nother show. But I wanted to, even the Bible says, it's good to feed, it's good to help and everything, but teach a man to fish. Because if you're always the fisherman and you're always bringing the food back, what happens when you're no longer there? What happens when you can no longer show up or you can no longer be the provider? But if you teach them how to go out and to fish for themselves, then even when you're not there, they can go provide for themselves, provide for a family member. So it's all about, I think, that tough love and that teaching is okay. So what are you doing with your money? How are you spending your money? So maybe you can find $50 that you're wasting somewhere that can help you with food or other, utilities. What are you doing? Are you just missing that time where the cafeteria is open? How can we rearrange your schedule where you can get to the cafeteria and eat the food that you are already paying for? So it really is about bringing awareness and just thinking about different options and how you can really make life work for you.
And they will ask you, I mean, there's a YouTube video out there with them interviewing and showing their tough love. And in one of the shows and clips, it sees one of the students ask, do you choose to be homeless? Do you want to stay homeless? You know,
Yeah.
that question itself, asking a homeless person, is like opening up a can of worms. Maybe they'll take it the wrong way, but it makes them think at the end of the day. And if they truly choose to be homeless, obviously it's not a straight answer because it never is. There's multiple things we never know what their life and outcome is because we don't live their shoes. They don't live our shoes.
Right.
So
But I always believe that you can put a plan together to make life better. Maybe you have to work that plan for 2 years. Maybe you're still homeless for 2 years, but you're saying it's this is what I need to not be homeless. I know I have to have this much for lease, rent, whatever. Maybe it's better to buy. You know, I don't know what kind of options are out there for homeless people to buy, but do the research. Again, you're putting in the time. Okay, this is what I need. This is what my budget is going to have to look like. This is what the food is going to be for me and the kids. And then you just start putting money aside. You do something different. Like Edgar said, you can't just think that you're going to just wake up one day and everything's going to be different. Oh, I have $50,000 in the bank. Wouldn't that be nice? And so we all have to show up for our rescue. We have to be in the situation we're in, but we all have to show up for our lives to change and to get better.
Yes, and that's part of their goal as well, is to, like you said, that research part. As a society, what is making homeless? What is making a hungry person hungry? What
Mhm.
is making a kid go without eating after school or even during school or not even at school?
Mhm.
What is making the elderly, once they pay their dues, why, they're not being taken care of? Uh,
Right.
so all these organizations, as many as organizations as there are, one, help is out there. Ask for it. You live in America. Not to be harsh, but we do. We live in America. Let's try to help each other out. Two, once we help each other out, how can we help for us to not be going back and just doing this every year, every holiday? Because it feels wonderful to help, but it will feel even better knowing that now that kid is going to college, grandpa and grandma have a shelter, an actual good shelter,
Mhm.
really good living facility. You know,
Mhm.
so how can we help to help, but how can we also help to move forward? Is what the question I want to leave you guys at.
There you have it. So, anything else?
The next slide just shows the pictures of the University of Soap. If you want to show it, I completely forgot to tell. So it just
Awesome.
shows images of kids helping kids, kids organization, single moms organizations. Not very clear picture on the top right, but the cookouts for raising money, cookouts to feed, cookouts. Charlotte. We all know Charlotte loves cookouts. So,
True.
and that's their logo, their university soup kitchen logo. So if you see that logo around campus, around they also go to like fairs and stuff. So if you see that logo and you see their tent, support, because all the money goes to helping out. I honestly want to call them the Tough Love Organization, because I start seeing some of those videos. It's like, whoa.
Listen. So it takes sometimes.
So remember, how can we help, and how can we help to stay stable?
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Edgar, for those reviews and bringing the resources. I love the process behind the show, the resources behind it. So let's just keep feeding America the information they need, because information is what will take you to the next level. Connections. That's what we're about, making connections. So connecting yourself to the resource that you need, connecting yourself to the information. Because connecting yourself just to whatever is out here in America, because now we have found out through COVID that some of our resources are not as strong as they used to be. So we have to make sure that we're tapping into those resources. We have to make sure that those resources can continue, because people will continue to need help for the rest of our lives. People are going to do the best they can, but somebody's always going to need some help. And we never know when that help might need, we might be the one who needs that help. So just be open minded, love on everybody, do what you can for your community, for your family and friends. Check on the elderly if you know any in your church, what have you. Make sure they're good. Make sure everybody's okay. All right.
Peace. And by the way, in July, which is coming up, I'll talk about barbecue. So we'll see what I'll bring to the table when it comes to barbecue. So
See,
it will be a little
barbecue.
bit brighter of conversation, but barbecue. That's the thing for next month, barbecue.
That's a good holiday meal. I eat some barbecue for Christmas. I don't mind. Listen, so you guys know that Two Trey Trejo is here every fourth Saturday, bringing us the information we need. Follow him on Instagram, Facebook. Where else you at?
For now, that's it. I am working towards the other two platforms, but let me raise these two up more and put more content out.
Okay.
and then slowly but shortly we'll be on all platforms.
All right. So you guys know we're making connections. We're here every Saturday at 12 noon, every Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Times. We do a replay on Thursdays at 7 p.m. Go like our Facebook and Instagram pages, subscribe to our YouTube channel because even if you're not able to catch us live, the videos are always on the Facebook page and the YouTube channel. So you can always go back and listen again. You know, you like the show, you they said something that piqued your interest and you can't remember, just go back and research the show because they will be on the Facebook page, making connections with Aly, and on our YouTube page. And so, as always, until next time, we're leaving you with love, positivity, and good vibes. Have a great day, everybody.